मतलब ये है कि आप हज और उम्रा दोनों का एक साथ नियत करें, एक इहराम में you do hajj and umrah, and the other one is hajj tamattu, फायदे वाला हज ये है कि आप इहराम यानी दोनों का एक ही होगा, इहराम उतार कर फिर दूसरा अदा करते हैं। उसमें आपने एक फ़ायदा हासिल किया कि आपने इहराम से निकल आए, वो कम मुश्किल होता है। हज इफराद is not of कुर्बानी, but hajj tamattu and hajj qiran they have कुर्बानी. Similarly, any person who gives zakat who is not on hajj, then qurbani is also wajib on that person as well. And this is to honor the sacrifice of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now for Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, this great prophet of Islam, one of the chosen ones of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as a child when he was growing up, the Quran refers to it as his father he was not only an idol worshipper, but is one that would make idols. यानी आप ऐसे ज़माने में पैदा हुए जिसमें बुत प्रस्ती बहुत ज़्यादा थी, लोग बुतों का पूजा करते थे। तो आपका जो माहौल था जिसमें आप पैदा हुए थे, where he grew up, उसमें यह नहीं था कि सिर्फ लोग वहाँ पर बुतों को पूजा करते, बल्कि बुत बनाते, बुत साज वाली जगह थी। It was a place where people actually what's called وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ آزَرَ أَتَتَّخِذُ أَصْنَامًا إِلَهَةً إِنِّي أَرَاكَ وَقَوْمَكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. All of the prophets, none of them were born from shirk. कोई भी शिर्क के घर में पैदा नहीं हुआ, यानी सब खून का पाक है. They're all born from pure blood. None of them had parents. Why is the Prophet ﷺ, although the society was of shirk, their parents, and there were some people, there were some exceptions, that not everybody was a mushrik in Makkah, including the parents of the Prophet ﷺ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not give birth to his messengers from parents that were non-believers, that were kuffar, that were mushrik. कोई भी नबी, उनके वालिदैन, किसी भी नबी के वालिदैन मुशरिक नहीं थे, बल्कि सब मुवाहिदीन थे, अल्लाह को मानने वाले. This is our belief. इस पर एतराज लोग करते हैं. People object and say, if you say that all of the prophets, their parents were muwahidun, were people of tawheed, monotheists, people who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what about the father of Ibrahim, which says, وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ, to his father, Azar. If you look at the record, अगर आप तफसीर पढ़ें, तारीख पढ़ें, you will find that Azar, although it says لِأَبِيهِ Azar, he was not actually the father of Ibrahim alayhi salam. वाक़ई वो इब्राहिम अलैहि सलाम के, in other words, it was not his biological father. It was not his biological father, खूनी बाप जिसको आप कहते हैं, बल्कि इब्राहिम अलैहि सलाम के चाचा थे, uncle. He was a paternal uncle of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now you might say, well, the Quran says لِأَبِيهِ, it doesn't say عَمِّهِ. अरबी में चाचे ताए को आम कहते हैं, तो ये चाचा या ताया थे, तो ये अम्मी ही क्यों लिखा, अभी ही यहाँ पर कुरान में आया है. The reason here is that he was the one that was looking after Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was bringing him up. And in Arabic, sometimes the word abi is used for the uncle as well. And we know this, for the Prophet sometimes Abba is used, ancestors. The plural Abba. जो आप कहते हैं अबा वजदाद, अब अबा वजदाद उर्दू में भी जब आप इस्तेमाल करें, इसमें ये जरूरी नहीं है कि आपके ही वो परदादा हो, आपके परदादा के भाई भी हो सकते हैं, रिश्तेदार भी हो सकते हैं. उसके लिए भी लफ्ज़ अबा यानी जमा अबू. कुरान में जमा अबा आता है for uncles as well. चाचे तायों के लिए अबा का लफ्ज़ कुरान में इस्तेमाल होता है. इस पर एक बहुत बड़ी दलील है, big evidence, because people use this to say that the Prophet ﷺ's parents were not Muslim. और ये भी अजीब बात है, if you look at it, if you want to know in any society where you are, what is the correct aqidah, which group को पता नहीं है, ये कौन हक पर है, कौन सही है, कौन गलत है, लोग मुख्तलिफ चीजें बोलते हैं, तो सदा ये देखें कि सबसे ज्यादा other for this is the biblical record, Bible का. If you look in the Bible, it will tell you there very specifically who the father of Ibrahim is, the biological father, detail ke saath. And in Arabic the name is Tariq, in the Bible it's Tariq. And in the Talmud, यहूदियों की किताबों में इस चीज की वजाहत मौजूद है कि उनके वालिद साहब कौन थे, उनके वालिद कौन थे, तारिक, और वो तौहीद पर कायम थे, अल्लाह की इबादत करते थे और लोगों को तौहीद की तरफ राग़िब करते थे और बुलाते थे. So you can look at the Bible, the Jewish scriptures, which are very clear in stating what? That his father was called Tariq. And if you look at the scholars of Islam, मुफस्सिरीन को आप देखें, मुअर्रिखीन को आप देखें, मुहद्दिसीन जैसे अलामा इब्न हजर अल-अस्क़लानी, they have specified and laid out the fact that that was his paternal uncle, not his biological father, but because he brought him up, he would refer to him as Abi. This is absolutely normal. इस घर में आप परवरिश पाते हैं तो उस शख्स को आप अबू कहेंगे, ये एक वाज़िब यानी आम चीज़ है. So it wasn't his father was on Tawheed. And all of the prophets, they were on the Tawheed in terms of their whole lineage. Huzur Pak का नस्ल मुबारक Huzur Pak से लेकर आदम अलैहिस्सलाम तक सब पाक थे शिर्क से. They were all on Tawheed. None of them were mushrikeen, including the father of Ibrahim alayhisalam, who was actually Tariq. And you can look at the Bible for this, and you can look at what the majority of the Sunni scholars have said. Jamhur Sunni ulama, Jamhur ulama Islam ने इसी चीज को लिखा. They did not interpret it literally. That's why अपनी मर्जी से तफसीर नहीं करनी चाहिए. Literally, somebody picks up the Quran and reads the translation, they can get misguided. You have to follow a teacher, you have to look at the commentaries. What did the scholars of Ra'ihi فَلْيَتَبَوَّأْ مَقْعَدَهُ مِنَ النَّارِ, जिसने अपनी मर्जी से कुरान की तफसीर की, उसने जहन्नम में अपना ठिकाना बना दिया. You have to be very careful of this. So he was brought up in an environment not only where people worship idols, but where people created the idols out of wood, out of stone. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, with his fitrah, knew that this is not right, because what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him. It says in the Quran, لَقَدْ آتَيْنَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ رُشْدَهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ. Beautiful words of the Quran. We have granted Ibrahim alayhi salam his guidance even before. पहले से ही हमने उनको अपनी हिदायत, रुश्द meaning guidance, अता कर दी थी. लक़द आतैना. We have already granted him his guidance before he was doing his tabligh, because our belief is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives all the messengers, they're all prophets from birth, because they are designated as prophets even before they come to this world. ये अंबिया चुने हुए होते हैं, और ऐलान 40 साल में अंबिया 40 साल की उम्र में अपना ऐलान नबूवत करते हैं. In general, apart from Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam at birth announced and declared his prophecy. Inni Abdullah Atani al-Kitab wa Puri uski ek surah al-Quran about this. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was already granted Nabuwa, as it says in the Quran, so he knew that this is wrong. And he said, these who are being created from clay, stone and wood, these cannot be God. And he said to his father, Atatakhidu, are you taking these asnaman, ilahan, alihatan, that these things made of stone that you create yourself, they cannot do anything, as gods? How can you make something into a God that you make yourself and you can break yourself? This for Ibrahim alayhi salam was not acceptable. And it was a society in which people were practicing shirk. It was also a place and a society where people would just take other things as God, like the sun. सूरज को देखते उसकी इबादत करते लोग, सूरज चढ़ता उसकी इबादत करते, नेज़े पर होता उसकी इबादत करते, गुरूब होता है। इसीलिए आप देखें कि हमारे इस्लामी शरीयत के अंदर there are certain times which you should not do the salah nafal. बाज़ वक्त मकरूह वक्त है, उनमें आप नमाज नहीं पढ़ सकते। One of them is one, फजर के बाद, when the sun is starting to rise, you should not do any nafal ibadat. There's no farz ibadat at that time. Nafal ibadat आप उस वक्त नहीं कर सकते। ईद नमाज की जो फजर के बाद हम पढ़ते हैं उस वक्त आप नहीं पढ़ सकते। अरब मुल्कों के अंदर ईद नमाज पहले होती है, फजर की कुछ देर बाद वो पढ़ा देते हैं, सुबह 5-6 बजे, लेकिन इंतजार करना पड़ता है। So the Eid namaz that you can pray, Eid salah, is from the after sunrise until zawal. All of this duration you can read it, but not immediately after fajr, because that is makruh time when the sun is rising. Even if you have missed your fajr salah because you were sleeping, you could not wake up, you cannot pray immediately after sunset when the sun is rising, because that's when the sun worshippers would worship the sun and say, no, the sun is, God is rising. According to them, Khuda jaag raha hai, Khuda uth raha hai. So you cannot do that. Zawal ke waqt, when the suraj, when the sun is at its full zenith. Zawal हम कहते हैं लेकिन ये लफ्ज़ वैसे गलत है। ज़वाल को वैसे जब सूरज ज़वाल पर शुरू होता है उस वक्त ज़ोहर होती है। अपनी ज़ुबान में ज़वाल कहते हैं साक्षी दाखवा कुबरा, when it's at its highest point. They used to worship the sun because God is at its highest point. And then when the sun is setting, so 20 minutes, and the Zawal Kubra time is usually about 1 hour before Zohar. You cannot pray then. And 20 minutes before Maghrib, about 10 minutes when the sun is going down, the only prayer you can do then is if you still have not prayed Asr, you pray your Asr. It's makruh time, पढ़नी नहीं चाहिए ये इससे पहले पढ़े, लेकिन अगर आपकी असर आप नहीं पढ़ सके, असर फिर भी पढ़ने का फर्ज है मगरिब से पहले। लेकिन वो आखिरी 10-15 मिनट जब सूरज ढलने लगा है and you can see the sun with your eyes, it's not glaring in your eyes that you cannot see it, this time is the makruh time as well. You can still pray it, you have to pray in fact, but you have reduced the thawab of your asr to the bare minimum of just ada. बाकी स्वभाव आपको नहीं मिलेगा, सिर्फ अदायगी आपकी हो जाएगी मकरूह आपको, लेकिन पढ़ना पड़ता है। So these are the three times when the sun worshippers pray. That's why we do not pray these times. So for Ibrahim alayhi salam, look at the beautiful kalam of the Quran Majid, when it says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Ibrahim alayhi salam the wonders of the universe. وَكَذَلِكَ نُرِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ مَلَكُوتُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَلَيَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُوقِنِينَ. And then what happens? فَلَمَّا جَنَّ عَلَيْهِ اللَّيْلُ رَأَى كَوْكَبًا قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي فَلَمَّا أَفَلَ قَالَ لَا أُحِبُّ الْآفِلِينَ. So when the night grew dark, they saw a star. Right? He saw a star and he said, "This is my Lord." ये मेरा Lord. लेकिन जब वो तारा चला गया, डल गया, he said, "I do not love the things that set." जो चीजें ऐसे डल जाती हैं उनसे मोहब्बत नहीं करता, यानी मोहब्बत खुदा उनको नहीं मानता। And then when he saw the moon, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الْقَمَرَ بَازِغًا قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي. When he saw the moon was rising, he said, "This is my Lord." ये मेरा रब है। लेकिन जब वो गायब हो गया, when it disappeared, what did he say? "My Lord, لَمْ يَهْدِي رَبِّي لَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الضَّالِينَ." लेकिन फिर कमर भी गायब हो गया। So he saw the moon rising and said, "This is my Lord." When the moon set, he said, my Lord is one that does not misguide me or place me among the misguided people." And then the same with the sun. When he saw the sun rising, he said, "قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي هَذَا أَكْبَرُ." This must be the greatest of the Lord. But then when the sun set, the same happened again. He said that this cannot be my Lord that rises and then sets again. Because Allah is not one that rises and sets. Allah is not one that wakes up and sleeps. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not one that changes. Allah है नहीं वो जिसमें तगयीर आए, तब्दीली आए, क्योंकि जो जिसमें तगयीर आए, तब्दीली आए, वो चीज़ खत्म नहीं हो सकती। हर दिन जागता है, हर दिन सोता है. This is not the shan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a long topic, but I'll just finish and conclude on this point. That Ibrahim alayhi salam was in an environment in which people were worshipping stars, the moon, the sun, and idols. Yet, This is the status of the Prophet ﷺ, no matter what is happening in the society. Even everybody, the large majority, the powerful, the rich, the wealthy, the strong are doing wrong, they will never accept it. So our principle in Islam is that we don't follow the majority. We follow the truth and we follow the haqq. And this is what all of the messengers did. When it seems impossible and difficult, they fought against shirk, against falsehood. And this was the mission of Ibrahim alayhi salam. This was the same mission as our Prophet alayhi salam, who similarly was in the environment of shirk, and he fought the mushrikeen and never accepted it, and called people to Tawheed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to truly understand Tawheed and follow the footsteps of his messengers alayhi salatu wassalam. وَمَا عَلِمْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغَ الْمُبِينَ.